Hello and welcome, ISFL. Probably a bit shocked to hear someone talking on one of these, but welcome to your S33 Pre-season for the ISFL League. For those who don't know, this is Darkness Rising. I'm one of the streamers and HO, but we're going to try something a bit different this season and take advantage of pre-season to basically not actually show the games, but we're just going to do a quick box score of all games for all 4 weeks instead of doing one like we used to do. And we're going to see what you think, like some feedback for those that watch it, tell your friends so they can go watch it, and just tell us what you think of this, trying something different. It is just me, this is also pre-recorded, so don't people in chat try to talk to me, I'm not going to listen to you. And without further ado, let's get into our first game, which is Arizona and Honolulu. That is the wrong one. It is this. There we go. So in this game, Arizona took it out at the end, but it was too much in that first quarter. Honolulu putting on 23 points for the win. Cobra Kai, offensive player of the game. 3 touchdowns, over 200 attempt yards of scrimmage. Sean Dawkins, 3 tackles as well for Honolulu. Pretty low defensive game. See, we get a safety to start it off. Cobra Kai, Cobra Kai, Cobra Kai. Touchdown for 1 yard for Wiggins and Sailor. That's a rookie quarterback and his first touchdown, even if it is preseason. Got a second later in with a touchdown by Q. Low ratings for the quarterbacks. Cobra Kai having a good game as a running back. Arizona having a bunch of different receiving options. Honolulu staying pretty solid. Cobra Kai the 25 average on receptions. Honolulu's kicker missing 1 field goal but going perfect for extra points. Cade York in a perfect game. Punts pretty decent. Special teams, we saw a 40-yard return. 2 40-yard returns on Honolulu and then 1 for Arizona. Defense, big game for Guy Fields, 12 tackles, 1 sack PD. Penalties and pancakes, not too much to be seen. Nothing special happening there. And that is our first game, and kind of what this is going to be like. So it should be pretty cool and fun. Go back up to the top, you see Honolulu defeating Arizona Outlaws of 36-28. The next game of this is Oko versus San Jose. And I went into the wrong one again. Here we go. We have San Jose coming late to take over the St. Otters 30-24. Lots of field goals to start. First touchdown coming into the second quarter. Trading back and forth. But San Jose late, going up 27-17. Even despite Oko getting a touchdown in the last 33 seconds, not enough. Mason Malone, player of the game, running back for San Jose. Not as much as what we saw from Cobra Kai. Bender Rodriguez, 11 tackles, 2 sacks, and a forced fumble. Pretty good. San Jose, yards per attempt, 7.3 to 4.3. That's pretty immense. McCall almost getting up to 100. On 70%, exactly 300 yards. Not bad. Carter, though, 1 touchdown, no ends, 2 sacks. Only a 26% completion rate. That is not what you want to see. Denozo having a good game with 22 attempts. He's still getting fed the ball pretty strong. Malone and Laxton doing a nice little solid double team work there. Oko receivers, very few receptions, but decent averages at 15, 22 at 14.3. Oko, pick of the receivers, probably going to go to Crossley. 11 receptions, getting a lot of ball. Sub 100 yards, but they still can pick up the touchdown. Higgins with a touchdown of his own. T. Rose going perfect as a kicker, so does Dallas Dole. Punts, both of them almost averaging in the mid-50s, pretty impressive. 4 inside the 20s for Dole, I'm not sure if that's pretty unusual, to be honest. Don't really know much for kickers. Kick returns, again, something special. We're going up to 40 yards. Defense, We see that 11 tackle game for Joestar and Rodriguez, picking up 2 sacks. A sack picked up for Crazy Gons on the side of San Jose. Who got the interception? Interception came from Bruckner, that is Grag. We also see Schwarz on Oko. Schwarzer, I'm not sure who that is. Gay as a rookie. No, that's not a rookie, that's just an R. Don't mind me. Pancakes, we see Bot getting 11 and 8. Jaja Ding Dong getting 12. Let's see if you picked him up in fantasy, because that's going to be pretty impressive for you guys. Once again, that is Sabercats 30, Oko 24. Next game is Berlin Nola. Tight game for Salamanders, winning 28 to 22. Getting it done in a touchdown in the last quarter. Pretty nicely well run. We'll see Dexter, the quarterback, getting player of the game. Toblerone getting defensive player of the game. So it's pretty spread. Zayling, 131 rating, 3 touchdowns on a leverage of 11, 61% completion. Pretty damn good. Invisible though, still picking up decent, though his rushing went poorly. Nakamura got fed with 25 attempts, not much there. Receivers for Berlin though. Skip getting a 31-yard average with a touchdown. 56-yard longer, 63-yard goes for Quash of Nola. Kickers going 2 for 2, mostly short range stuff. Punts, nothing too impressive compared to last game. Very little in terms of returns. The Nola squad having some decent averages and numbers put up there in the 30s. Defense, we see a pick coming in for Lenkins, a safety for Toblerone, a sack coming in for Toblerone. Well, the only ones for Nola compared to the 3 sacks that Berlin got. 5 PDs for Harper, that's definitely worthy of a shout out, especially as a rookie. And nothing too much in pancakes. Berlin 28 beating Nola 22. Next game is going to be Chicago-Baltimore. There we go now. It is Baltimore going up 30 to 16, a big swing. They were 16 to 10 down that last quarter, 20 points. Dante King taking 2 receiving touchdowns and then 2 field goals by Paul Monitor. Garoppolo, player of the game, 3 touchdowns, 1 ints on 66% completion, gives him 107 rating. Oles, on the other hand, couldn't get much done. No ints or touchdowns, but 4 sacks. Running backs, Dante King, 22 yards, but only 3 attempts, with a pretty impressive average. But he's receiving, picking up 2 touchdowns and 100 yards. On the side of Chicago, no one getting over 80 yards, highest average being 11.7. Kickers, we see them both go perfect. Punting, 2 inside of the 20 for Tate, pretty good. Returns, we see nothing special. Defense, AJ Lucas with 12 tackles and a sack, joining Johnson, Crazy Gus, and Woody getting sacks. And incoming for Omni-Man, sorry. Pancakes, nothing crazy standing out. That is the Hawks 30, Butchers 16. Next up, Yellowknife, Colorado. Now as this plays, I am doing it a lot quicker than it normally would be done, but we do have 4 weeks to go through. We see the Yeti pick up a win at home, 34 to 13. Caliban, player of the game, 4 touchdowns. Melvin Murder Moose, 8 tackles, 2 sacks, and 2 forced fumbles. Yellowknife only with the 1 touchdown for Kai Sakura, but then pretty steadily beat throughout the rest of the game. Palmer gets 8 sacks, that is not good. Caliban gets sacked 5 times, 13 sacks in this game. At 124 rating, that's gotta be super impressive. Neither team developed much of a running game, both definitely teams that want to throw the ball. We see Walker getting 123 yards, but Colwell with 133 with 22 with 2 touchdowns. Super impressive there for Colorado. Opal misses a kick from the 30 to 39 yards, while Colot goes perfect. Colot with 3 inside the 20s from 4 punts. That is mighty impressive. It probably speaks volumes to the situation Yellowknife finds itself in. Foster, 40-yard kick return. I think that's the longest we've seen so far. Defense, we got 2 PDs and incoming for McFred Beard, captain. Mosman Hicks gets 2 PDs and a sack as a rookie. Yellowknife, not too impressive, only 2 PDs, McCarr and Foster. Pancakes, nothing of note. So that is Yeti 34 defeating Yellowknife 13. Next game will be Austin and New York. Go. Copperheads getting it done against the reigning champs, 28 to 13. The kicker winning offensive player of the game, going 5 for 5, and Colt Mendoza, defensive tackle, winning defensive player of the game. 37 rating for Savage, 40% completion, only 110 yards, 1 in, 2 sacks. That probably might be one of the lowest if this was a real game. On the other hand, Detainer, almost 78%, quite high. 2 TDs, 113 rating. You see Austin's running game, both over 100 yards, a 4 and 8.4 average. Rogers, but even whilst being an old man though, him getting 100 yards himself. Burton is the main receiver of note, almost 220 yards, almost getting 100, falling 1 short with 2 touchdowns. Basically a product of how much these teams seem to focus on their run. Leroy goes perfect, and so does Gallagher. But punting, Leroy with 1 punt for 59 yards on inside 20. That is a monster punt. Returns, nothing special on the cards. Defense, we see Annie May with 3 PDs, and Thomas Lasher with 2 PDs for Austin. An int coming the way of Maverick Bowie. On the side of New York, the interception for Dogwood Maple. Few PDs and sacks with 12 tackles for Spud Webb, the rookie. Pretty impressive showing. Pancakes and nothing there. Once again, that is Copperheads 28 defeating Silverbacks 13. The next game and the final game of week 1 is Philly versus Sarasota. We load up for the final game. It is the Liberty 38 to 13 victors over the Sailfish. Negs having a nice game, 2 DDs, winning offensive player of the game. Defensive player of the game goes to Goodman, 10 tackles, a sack and a forced fumble. Negs 123 rating, 62% completion with an average of 11.2. Carter Knight, 60% completion but only a 4.7 average. That is going to hurt. But he's a rookie, it's going to be like that. Their rookie running back putting okay numbers, 41 yards on 11 carries. Huntsman probably also doing nice work in a short space. Matt Cross for Philly, a new swappy there. Picking up another as well, 3 touchdowns. That is super impressive. Receiving, Jake Fennec, 126 yards for 31.5 average. That is some top-notch stuff. 11.8, the only double digits for Kingston on the side of Sarasota. Bores gets 5 extra points in the punt. Small also is perfection. Not too much coming in. Punting. Once again, returning. Nothing too special. Spence having 82 yards. Defense, 3 PDs for Herschel Andrews. That's big, and 2 coming in for Hobbs. With sacks spread out. Xavier Wars, I believe that is, getting an interception. Quite a few PDs coming in. 2 for Sonjak, that's the main one. Yep, it is Xavier Wars. Pancakes, 11 for Stumpy, one of the top O-lines at the moment. 9 for LeBron James, giving them a little shout out here. But yes, Philly 38, Sarasota 13. And just generally, if I must say, that is our week 1 scores, if you are all interested. A little bit of box scores. And we shall move on to week 2. So, kicking us off for week 2 is going to be Colorado at Sarasota. Sorry, not Sarasota, San Jose. It's done here. It is a triumphant win for the Yeti, 41-27. Caliban, another offensive player of the game, with Ricky Vaughn of San Jose getting a defensive touchdown off his interception. How far did he return it? Yeah, 54-yard reception there in the third quarter. Caliban only throwing for 2 touchdowns, so it was a lot of a mixed attack here coming in for them. Jamal Laxton on the side of San Jose, some good running, but only 12 attempts. Really trying to throw, but 50 attempts for Caliban to throw. Receivers all getting a bit of love. Delacour crossing over the 100 mark. Touchdown from Maxwell and Waterfalls. 2 touchdowns from Malone on San Jose. Kick is going perfect. Punt and nothing special. Rushman getting a touchdown kick return, a 99-yarder. That is impressive work there. On defense, besides McPherbeard also getting a touchdown. That's probably why you didn't see much coming from the way of Caliban or the running back. They had both a receiving, a defensive, a rushing, and a receiving touchdown. 4 different styles of touchdowns. 10 pancakes coming in for the Pengu. Pretty nice feat there for the Yeti. Kicking it open with an interception return on the first play, winning 41-27. Second game is Sarasota, Arizona. A game I would say between 2 pretty strong contenders right now. Maybe not as much as a change of quarterback, but we see the Sarasota go down 24-37. Extremely close game. Kingston getting offensive player of the game. Don't draft getting defensive player of the game. Both rookie quarterbacks, so it's an interesting battle. Saylor though at an 83% completion rate, almost 84. Running backs in Riggins and Q doing some good work. Means with 1 run but for 16 yards. Even Rose and Huntsman doing a nice little good duo work there. Receivers, Ramon doing pretty nicely there, getting to the 100. Kingston also getting over 100, but with an 18.7. No kicker missed. Jacobs Moore winning the punting battle. Returners, nothing too special, no kick return. But we did have that defensive touchdown from Don't Draft. That would be a big game changer. Another in also for Herschel Andrews. Herschel Andrews? Harrison Andrews, I've said your name wrong twice. But that is pretty good work there from Sarasota in what is ultimately a losing effort. Pancakes. What's this? Pre-season bot. Well, we don't have to worry about them. Outlaws 27-24 victors over Sarasota. Next game, Baltimore versus Occo. Get out of the black screen of death. We see Baltimore pulling on a 58-point thumping of Occo. Occo led in the first quarter thanks to a field goal and a safety, but that second quarter, domination. 2 touchdowns from Luke Quick, 2 field goals, and 2 other touchdowns coming in. Jimmy G, player of the game, offensive player of the game for sure. 100 rating, 4 touchdowns, 3 ins, 64%, 518 yards. That is mighty impressive. Tron Carter with a Tron Carter? Yes, 30 rating. We think we got even lower. Bush Goose, 124 yards on 15 average with 2 touchdowns. Holy hell. Receivers, Luke Quick, 175 yards on a 35 average with 3 touchdowns. Phew, that would probably have been one of the offensive performance of the season noms right there. Occo only having 3 receivers, not putting up much. 7 for 7 for poor Monitor. Got out punted though. Returnees not doing much. Defense, Rainey Clark, the FA signing for Baltimore, getting 5 PDs. Interception coming from Pepe Legs Johnson with 3 PDs as well. That is a lot of pass deflections. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 16 PDs, if I count correctly. On the side of Occo, 3 PDs coming in for Leaking and Bruckner. Interception for Rodriguez, Delatore, and Brandon Booker. Pancakes, 8 going around for Buckley and Goose, but nothing too special. Once again, that is Baltimore 58-12 over Occo. Next game, Yellowknife at NOLA. We see Yellowknife taking a win in our first overtime game, 37-31. Palm getting offensive player of the game. Libong Simwell getting a defensive player of the game. Palm going 2 touchdowns, 320 yards on 61%. Invisible, it's very similar, a little bit less completion but less large with a lower average. Rushburn's a good focal point of offense there for the team. Bradley Welch, new running back for the Yellowknife race, 6.4 average and a touchdown. Receivers, Sucker getting 80 with a touchdown, Walker with 113, Brott with 82, nicely spread out and some good solid yards there from the tight end, making sure when targeted getting catches. Winton Crash, 110 yards on 15 average, pretty impressive. Kickers, nothing of note. Punters, nothing much. Special teams, a kick return touchdown for Walker on 108 yards, smashing what was Rushman's 99. Interception for Dan Foster. Interception for Vincent Jones Jr. PDs going around. Pancakes, 9 from a lot. Yellowknife getting it done in overtime after NOLA in the last 4 seconds. Oh gee, so Yellowknife field goal in 49 seconds left to go ahead. NOLA 4 seconds to tie it. Very close game. Next up, Philly at Honolulu. Honolulu are going to sneak past in this game, 36-33 victors. Despite a late touchdown from Philadelphia, not enough there. Joylett Christ getting offensive player of the game, defensive player of the game, Xavier Walls of Philly. Christ with 4 touchdowns and 300 yards on 71%. Very impressive game there. Next with 4 and 1 as well. Good average there by Jamal on 9.3 for Cobra Kai, putting volume and efficiency together. Jake Vanek getting a nice average of 22.8, but Kendrick Watts for Honolulu, 150 yards, 2 touchdowns. Cobra Kai getting 2 touchdowns as a nice dual threat. Kicking, Bly of Honolulu misses a 50-yarder, balls going perfect. Punting, 40 and below, not good averages, but maybe that depends where they were on the field. No touchdowns in this game for the special team units. A safety for Xavier Walls, with a sack and 7 tackles. Interception for Willie Miller, and an interception for Levine on the other team of Honolulu. Pancakes, 13 for Alexander Franklin of Philly. 14 for Zoltan. Big numbers coming in. That is Honolulu taking the game here, 36-33. Second to last game of week 2 is Chicago at Austin. We see low scoring game. Butchers 17-7 over the Copperheads. Player of the game, Kazmi Oles. Defensive player of the game, Tyler Montaigne. Well, we see touchdown for touchdown. Chicago getting it done in the third quarter, and a field goal by Levy Tate. Neither quarterback playing too well. 60-65% completion rate. Both throwing ATD and int. Both running backs for teams doing not much. Savers, probably Lord Sombre, 82 yards, 13 average. It could go Mike Hunt, 78 yards, 15 average, as a pick of them. Kickers, Levy Tate missing a 40-49 yarder. Leroy only having the extra point, no field goal attempts. Punting goes the way of Levitate with higher average and longest, whilst having 3 inside the 20s. Special teams, that is a 71-yard punt return there by Hall. Dexter Hall, very impressive. Defense, 4 PDs coming in for Soldier. That's a performance. Interception for Gusta Piera and Annie Mae of Austin. Pancakes, highest I see is a 7. Low scoring game, but the Butchers getting it done. Bringing us to the final game of Week 2 preseason. The Ultimate rematch, Berlin at New York. Ultimate rematch, but New York still win. Berlin on 10, losing Silverbacks 13. No points coming in the first half. Only points in the third quarter was a field goal by Berlin. New York coming home strong with a touchdown in the last 2 minutes to win the game. Neither quarterback looking strong. Low averages, low yards. Zyrene with a less than 5 yards per pass. Running game though not looking strong. Definitely a giant battle of defensive, it looks like. We see Speedman with a nice game, but it's gonna be what would be normally the number 2, Joseph Raditsky, 130 yards on 4 passes with a touchdown, averaging 32. New York's kicker missing a 50-yarder. Punting game pretty close and even, but 11 and 8 punts respectively, both having 6 inside the 20s. No yardies and being stuck and pinned down. No wonder there was a low scoring game. Kick returns, punt returns, nothing special. Defense, interception for Spud Webb. Rookie having a nice showing in preseason. Jones, what's his first name? Swantavius Jones, of course, that will commish, with an interception and a PD. 2 PDs for Jenkins and George. Pancakes, 9 for a bot. Not too much to show. New York winning the last game of Week 2 preseason in an Ultimates rematch. So that will bring us to Week 3. Hopefully you are enjoying this new system. Much quicker way of going through games, and you get to find out all games and all stats. The first game of the Week 3 is Colorado at Berlin. See if Berlin can come back from that last win against New York. Colorado probably still wanting to be a contending team. But let's not waste any more of your guys' time. I will just get straight into it. Yeti with 14 points in the last quarter, coming back to win 27-22 with a touchdown in the last 2 minutes. Caliban with offensive player of the game, 2 touchdowns, 115 rating. 72% completion with nearly 400 yards. Zaylene, another struggling game, only averaging 5.4. For what was, I believe, the league MVP last season. He's having a very disappointing preseason. Running backs, pretty solid. Delacour, 100 yards and a TD. That's very nice. Same thing as Waterfalls, 119 and a touchdown. Most yards of a receiver. Kickers, they go perfect. Punts in the mid-40s, so a few inside 20s, but limited punts in this game. Punt returns, kick returns, nothing special. Defense, interception for Marlon Brando of Berlin. 2 PDs for McBullet. No interceptions for Colorado. A few PDs, a sack, 11 tackles for Rucker and 10 for McKitts. Game highs. They just all pretty much won it still through offense. Pretty impressive. 9 pancakes for the Pengu. Nice total there to protect their quarterback. Yeti, 27-22. Our next game being NOLA, Arizona. Well, since I leaked half the results, we'll just do this week nice and quick all together. because this is the other way we could potentially stream games, is instead of having a strong long game, we could just come here and go, hey, here's this week's games, here's the box scores, let's talk about it for a couple minutes. We can of course do one at a time. So, NOLA, Arizona, Outlaws winning 24-30. JQ, offensive player of the game. Quarterbacks, and 75% from rookie. Sailor's completing a lot here. 130 rating. Q, 123 yards, 7.7, 16 carries. Very impressive work. No wide receiver for NOLA really standing out compared with when you have Ramon, 135 yards, 22 average with a touchdown. Kickers, nothing special, dirty net job done. Punting, quite low from York, 48 to 39 difference in averages. Punt returns, nothing. Interceptions, there's not a single interception, only one pass deflection in this game for NOLA. And that goes to the way of Jackson. 2 PDs for Rich Triplet, 1 for Crunk on the side of Arizona. Pancakes, not too much, 8 for Pre-season Bot and 8 for Bernie Sanders. Game 3 was Hawks and Philly. Philly scraping home with a late field goal. Nake's getting offensive player of the game. Both quarterbacks struggling to get much going. Nake's getting into twice. And Jimmy only picking up the 1 touchdown. Sub 100 rating. Only 4 rushes attempted by Baltimore. That is very strange by them. Cross for 78 yards and 10 attempts with a touchdown, not bad. Lonnie Jackson as well, picking up a touchdown. Baltimore yeeted it a lot, but they didn't get much yardage. Decent averages, but the yardage is spread around. Where Baltimore Chambers gets over 100 yards with 11 average. Kickers go perfect. Punters, not much difference. Kick returns, nothing special. Lip Gallagher getting the only interception as well as 4 PDs and 9 tackles. Could argue that those PDs and interception is better than Lucas's 2 sacks, but Sim does what the Sim does. Pancakes, the highest goes to 7, which is Rudy Gray. Liberty beating Philly 24-21. Occo and Sarasota. Sarasota pulling against the wind against a still struggling Otters lineup. Jacob Small winning player of the game with 6 field goals. With Sarasota only getting 2 touchdowns and a failed 2-point conversion and missed an extra point. Occo, Jesus. Very scratchy game for both sides. Both quarterbacks. 33% completion for Occo. Sarasota not even averaging 3.2 average as a quarterback. Wow. Running back, the Nose are having an okay yard, 2 touchdowns and 58 yards. Rhodes and Huntsman still forming nicely, but haven't been as potent as some other lineups. Seafood for Occo, nothing too much. Holiday, 72 yards with a 12 average. Touchdown going the way of Kenoth. Sarasota, Kingston with a higher average as the vet. Troy Barnes, rookie with 15.5, nice. Touchdown going to Messi and Kingston. Kicking, Small was perfect. Dole missed an extra point. Punts, almost a 12 better average for Jacob Small. Very impressive. 9 punts for Dole. Tells you a lot about Occo. Punt returns, kick returns, nothing special. Occo, interceptions for Schwarzer, Holiday and Booker. 5 PDs for Bruckner, whilst 12 tackles for Joseph Joestar. On the side of Sarasota, 4 PDs for Andrews, 2 for Patterson, a sack and 4 tackles for Lover. No more than 4 tackles. Wow. Pancakes, not too much, but a load of penalties coming in for Occo. What was the penalty count? 11-1. Jeez. Sarasota 31-20 winners. Midweek, Austin and San Jose. San Jose getting it done, 34-27. Late touchdown, 2:30 and 30 seconds left, win the game. Exactly 300 yards and 3 touchdowns for Mikhail of San Jose. The turnover is 70% completion, but a bit of a low average, only 6.9, whilst throwing an int. Both the Vampire and Watts picking up a touchdown. Luxon getting a touchdown on the ground too. Lots of spread out receiving for Austin, 92, 87, 92 yards. Penne, the rookie, getting 100 yards and a touchdown here for San Jose, whilst Crossley gets 18 as an average across 5 catches. Kickers, Rose misses 1 above the 50 mark, whilst Levi goes perfect. Punts, pretty even, though slightly goes in Rose's favour with a higher average and an extra inside the 20. Kick and punt returns, nothing special. Defense, 3 pass deflections for Jones, 6 tackles. An interception went the way of Gibson, the defensive captain, with 10 tackles for Silic. 11 Felix Armstrong, one of the highest amounts we've seen in pre-season. Still done it a losing effort. San Jose, congrats. Honolulu Silverbacks was up next, seeing the Honolulu Hahalua win. Cooper Kai, offensive player of the game, to very little surprise. Sean Dawkins, defensive player of the game, their captain, winning nicely. No touchdowns for Christ, only 1 for Savage. A lot of running game between these two teams, with Cobra Kai an 11.2 average and 2 touchdowns, a 61-yard longest. Rogers failed to really get anywhere on the ground, and so did the rest of his team. Not much receiving. Honolulu spread around, each doing their part, but nothing special. There were also the New York Speedman, 118 yards for an 11.8 average with a touchdown, the pick of the lot. Kickers go perfect. Punters, very similar. Special teams, nothing much doing there. 3 PDs for Quackstack. A few sacks coming for Winchester, Miller, and Von Sanzo. On the side of Honolulu, the interception for Dawkins, 3 PDs for Levine and Guy Fields, 2 sacks for Bing Beanman. O-line, nothing much but leads. Last game is Yellowknife and Chicago. Chicago, another low scoring affair, take the game despite Yellowknife getting a late touchdown through Kai Sakura, trying to pull back, do not get there. Palm Lee, low average, only 60%, all sitting the same percent with a better average. Did throw up another int, explain his worst quarterback rating. Running backs, both of Chicago, only 1 yard apart, 67-66 with 18 attempts. Yellowknife do not have much of a run game going here. Receiving yards, Walker was doing nice, but that last 71-yard touchdown for Sakura gets him to 141 yards. But Lord Sombra, offensive player of the game as well, 129 yards in 5 receptions with a touchdown. Very solid work. Levy Tate missed a 40 to 49 yarder, whilst Colot went perfect. Very similar in terms of averages for punting, but Levy Tate get an extra inside 20. Kick return, nothing too special, no touchdowns. On the defense, Grey Wolf getting an interception. Cushion, as a rookie, getting an interception. Dexter Hoare for Chicago gets an int. A safety coming the way of Gausa Paria. O-line, nothing. That is the week 3 preseason results, meaning we have only one last game to go through. I'll do this version again after I take a quick little drink. But yeah, if they're in two different versions, one game by game. Second, you can see all results instantly. Some other leagues, like I know WSPL has quick simming some games, so you can see, say, watch some whilst you see the results of others. But also commentary like this probably isn't doable all the time. It would make streams shorter, but then you miss any visual element. But for pre-season, try something different, try something quicker. We roll forth to the last week of games. New Orleans beating the Baltimore Hawks in a late, even despite their late surge. Taipan Pete player of the game. Quarterbacks, nothing too special. Running backs as well, nothing special. Touchdown for Rutch Burns. Receivers, none over 10 average for Nola. Baltimore, we see a bit of a spread. Luke Quick getting 56 yards but only 3 receptions. Touchdown for Goosh. Kickers, perfect. Punters, not much difference. Kick returns, nothing. Defense, interceptions for Naked and the rookie Harper. None coming in, but 12 tackles for Woody, double the amount of the highest on Nola side. Pancakes, not much. Chicago Butchers beating Occo. Nice win for them, 21-17. Icebox for Post, player of the game, and O-line with 14 cakes, highest we've seen in pre-season. Tron Carter is still struggling, lower than only a 37%, 3.3 average. That's really going to need to be fixed if they want to have any chance of winning some football games. Oles, the captain, 50%, still a low average, 2 touchdowns and 2 ints, whilst eating 4 sacks. Denozo getting fed the ball, but only 2.3 average, still picks up the 2 touchdowns. Whilst the Chicago both have over 55 yards, decent averages coming through. Oles with a nice few runs. Receiving 2 touchdowns coming in for Hunt with a 12.4 average. Dole missed a 50-yarder, but so did Levy Tate. Punting goes the way of Doles, but 9 punts, but still has less inside 20s than Tate. A 72-yard punt return for Richard Lee, and that's pretty impressive despite the no touchdown. Then we get to the defense. We see an interception for Schwarzer. A lot of interceptions for this person. No wonder they're the captain of the defense. No interceptions for Chicago, but 3 PDs for pick 6, but Bruckner got 4. Defense for Occo is getting a lot of stats, but it's probably because they're playing a lot of the field. Icebox opposed 14 cakes, no sacks allowed. Very impressive. Austin, Philly. Potential game you might see towards the Ultimates if both teams can stay to their intended targets. Copperhead comfortably winning 37-9. Daytona having a nice night, 3 TDs, 120 quarterback rating. Negs unable to get a touchdown, only 52% completion, a sub 60 quarterback rating. Running backs pretty good there by Philly. Not going to be a running team, but a 3.3 and a 5.3 average. Receivers, not a single one getting above 100, but Calabunga getting 97 yards on their 5 for a 19.4 average. Touchdowns going to him, Vampire, and Patty. Leroy, 5 for 5, it misses a 50-yarder. Baz doesn't have any extra points, but 3 field goals. Punting, very even, but Leroy getting 4 inside the 20s. Punt returns, kick returns, nothing too special. Defensive touchdown comes in for O'Leary and a safety for Thomas Latcher. But just look at that O'Leary stat line. 9 tackles, a tackle for loss, 2 sacks, 1 PD, 1 in, 1 TD. If he got the safety, he would have had one of everything. Forced fumble coming in from Montaigne. On the other side, we see Negs getting a fumble recovery, probably after getting a big hit by Montaigne. 2 PDs for Son Jack. Few sacks coming around. Alexander Franklin with 10 cakes. Jim the Vampire with 8. Good, impressive showing from Austin. New York Yellowknife. We see the Wraiths lose again. I don't think they've won a game. That's not my race. Silverbacks going up 30 to 24. Was tied going into the overtime by thanks to a 52-yard field goal from New York, and then they clutch it out in overtime. Savage 3 TDs, no ints, 63% completion. Palmley 66% completion, 3 TDs but 2 ints. Running games for both teams doing okay. Rogers picking up a touchdown, while Walsh picks up 89 yards for 7.4 per attempt. Fries and Radetsky both having over 100-yard games and touchdowns for New York, whilst Wilkinson also gets a touchdown. Sakura picks up a touchdown, so does Walker and Hunter. Kicking. Perfect from each. Punting, Kolop with a 56 average and 3 of 4 inside the 20s. Very little in terms of kick and punt returns, however. Defense, Spud, the rookie, 13 tackles and a sack. Forced fumble for Quackstack and Von Sanzo. Interception for Crooks and Quackstat. 3 PDs for Crooks as well. Yellowknife, we see a forced fumble by Spears. Fumble recovery by Brott and Smith on the offense. Fumble recovery for Wolf, pretty nice teamwork there. 3 PDs for Foster. Pancakes, a bot got 15. But that's of note. Honolulu, Sarasota, the battle of the S32 expansion teams. Honolulu taking it. It's good to see both these expansion teams having so much success since coming in. Cooper Kai, offensive player of the game. Touchdown, 136 yards running, 52 yards receiving, pretty impressive. Carter Knight having a bit of a better game, 56%, but still only averaging 5.5 yards per completion. Salim Spence making do though with 115 yards. Salamanca though for Honolulu on 20 average, Kendrick Watts on 19.2. Kicking, only an extra point for Small. Fly doing pretty good for Honolulu, going 4 for 4. Punts, Small only going an average of 37.8, not good enough. Fly getting all 4 punts inside the 20. Punt returns, nothing special. Defense, Miles 894 getting a touchdown, interception, and a pass deflection. 3 PDs coming in for Nazgul. Defensive side for Sarasota. A sack for Lover and Daxton. A forced fumble and recovery made by Jonas Lover to go with their 7 tackles. Pancakes, nothing special. Penultimate game saw the Outlaws versus the Yeti, and the Outlaws are victorious. Sailor, despite being a rookie, 70% completion, 300 yards, 106 rating against Calaban, one of the generation's best, 65%, 420 yards, that's almost the same average, both having 2-to-1 TDs to ints, slightly lower rating, probably due to the extra sacks. Absolutely no running, only 7 attempts for Colorado. JQ though, getting 18 attempts, 87 yards, unable to pick up a touchdown however. But in the air, Ramon gets a touchdown, so does Stags. Delacour 110 yards, but Maxwell 173 on only 6 attempts, but can't bag himself a touchdown. Opal misses a 40 to 45, 49 yarder. York missed an extra point for Arizona. Punts, very equal. Kick and punt terms, nothing much happening. Interception for Rich Triplett and Joel Drake, opposing signs. Forced fumble for McHitz, but a forced fumble and recovery by Eugene Smoothie. 2 other forced fumbles with Jadakiss and Buffett. A few sacks going around. Two TFLs for Rucker. Pancakes, nothing happening. The final game, San Jose versus Berlin, went to OT. Berlin getting the touchdown and field goal in almost the last 2 minutes, but San Jose able to come back and win in OT. Zayleen still offensive player of the game, 4 touchdowns, 61% completion, almost 400 yards. Mikhail also almost getting 400 yards, but on worse completion, and still an int. Running, Laxing, Mahone. And again, it's going to be one of your very impressive W's. I haven't had a bad game compared to most other lineups. Nakamura being a little bit low. Goat Tank on his few carries though, success. Goat Tank being an aerial threat though, 100 yards in 5 attempts. Skip getting 2 touchdowns in 5 receptions on 140 yards. San Jose, Crossley getting a touchdown, Higgins getting a touchdown, and Mahone with a 27.8 average, and very impressive stuff by their running back rookie. Kicking, punting, 2 missed field goals by Rhodes from the 40 to 49 yarder. That's gonna hurt. Campbell also missing 1. That's 3 misses together. Punts, Rhodes with almost a 50 compared to 40 average in punting. Kick return, punt returns, nothing standing out. Interception from Swantavius for the Berlin side. Picking up 2 BDs as well. Forced fumble for Bradshaw. Sacks, Demonson, Rask, and Shell. For the side of San Jose, there was a touchdown for Crowder off a forced fumble and fumble recovery. There was another forced fumble and recovery by Rufus. 12 tackles for Selic. Very impressive defensive performance there. Pancakes. 8 for Jar Jar. Bots. But yes, that is all of our games. That is preseason for this time. I hope you enjoyed this little bit something different. Get to hear my voice. I wish you all the best. Hope you have a new year. Hope you have a good S33. Best of luck to your team, and goodbye.